A human among humans. We can't see you yet, but
Here we go.
oh, there, yes.
Hi.
Hi, I have the honor of being interviewed by Heinz, who I interviewed 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
And
Or probably a lot more time than
oh,
that.
and your full name is?
Heinz Jessie Thomas Vital.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
Yes. Jesse means he will save us.
Oh, really?
Vital means vitality.
Yeah, I hear that one a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah. I just wanted to interview you because, I feel like you got a lot of interesting like things about you that I just don't really know. So
Any way of getting these lights off?
yeah, I can get these lights off.
This man is talented, folks. Ask and you will receive.
Yes. But yeah.
Okay, now don't be shy.
Okay.
Because you really would love to ask an 82-year-old man.
Okay.
That you're 20?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Wow, I'm over 4 times older than you.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't wait to be reborn and be like you.
Yeah. I'm ready for this. So, you know what? All right. Let's see. Let's start with
So no holds barred, whatever comes to mind.
Yeah.
I'll do my
All right.
best.
I'm gonna start it off slow, and then we're just gonna go
See,
naturally.
he's such a decent. You see, I would start with, well, tell me what you learned about love.
Yeah.
That Heinz is going to do it slow. What's my favorite food? Who knows?
Yeah. So first, I just want to know when were you born and where?
And my name, by the way, is Michael Koran.
Yep.
And maybe you can sit a little closer to me,
Yeah.
so people have the honor of seeing you. Yes. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, March 1941. That was the year, in December of that year, 10 months later, that we entered World War II.
Interesting. Okay. Oh. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have 2 younger brothers.
Awesome. How old are they?
One is 2 years younger than I, and one is 10 years younger than I.
Awesome.
Look at the smile, folks. We can't see him again.
I'm sorry, I had to do a close up on you. So
Yes.
but cool. When is how old were you the first time you fell in love?
26.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Was the first time? Okay. No. Crushes and love are 2 different things.
I went out with her for about 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
Then she got too old for me.
Yeah?
She was only 15 and a half when I met her. I was 26.
Interesting.
I was very shy. We're still friends. We are still friends.
To this day?
Yep.
That's wow.
So that's a friendship of... We met the year Martin Luther King was assassinated, right before then in the fall. So in 67. So I was then... I've known her for over 50 years.
And how do you feel about like friendships like that? Like
I love them. I love them. I don't want to waste. They get to know someone. I don't want to waste it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's almost like family when it works. Sometimes I have one dear former lover, and she either wants me or that's it.
Yeah. So the way that you sound right now, would you say you were like kind of a player back then? Or?
I was always one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I was so shy.
Yeah.
I didn't make love till I was in 30.
Wow.
Because my dear beloved mother used to hit me all the time.
Yeah.
So I was just terrified of women.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Were you ever married?
Yes.
Are you still married or?
No, my beloved wife died last August. But we knew each other for 8.5 years. We were married for 2 years.
That's amazing. Yeah. You want to tell me about her a little bit?
She was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She also came from a troubled family, or else we wouldn't have had anything to talk about.
Yeah.
I once told a friend of mine I want to meet a healthy woman, and he said, "Mike, what would you talk about?"
Yeah.
So Robbie Pfeiffer Khan, when I met her, was a graduate student at Brandeis. She was in her 30s. We were both the same age. And when I asked her out for the first time, we were at a gathering, a Sabbath group that I helped start.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard her mention Hegel, a German philosopher.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Wow, this is a woman for me."
Yeah.
And so I asked her out, and the chemistry wasn't quite there. And just as I'm leaving, with literally with my hand on on her doorknob, she puts her hand on my hand and pulls me to her bed.
Wow.
And so, what's a poor guy going to do? I did what I did. And that started 8.5 years of a very rich, stormy romance.
Awesome. So, you said that you didn't make love till 30. Was that first, or?
No, that Robbie was when I was in we must have been in our late 30s.
Late 30s, okay. Nice, that's beautiful. What are your values on family?
Now, because I don't have children, I like to adopt anybody I can.
Yeah.
Like Sarah, who you know was like my kid sister.
Yeah.
I have a beloved roommate who's sounded like his father and mother. He didn't have. So I just go around wherever I can. I don't have young people I'm adopting at the moment. More people that are old and need help. So and very interestingly maybe, my brother, who had stopped talking to me twice for 4 years, he had 2 troubled marriages, and when he told me he was going to marry one of the women, I said, "Why are you marrying her?" And he stopped talking to me for 4 years. And then, but now we've started reading short stories together every week, thanks to his third wife, who recommended I give him a gift of an thick anthology of the short stories, and we read them and we talk about them and talk about our childhood and like this yesterday when we were talking, I just felt more than I've ever in my life, just this powerful love for him.
That's amazing. I'm happy for you for that. You know.
So I'm taking my brother, and this might sound unusual, making him part of my family, because we did not get along for 75 years.
Wow.
We tried living together for a year, but we just were not able to. We both had so much pain, different kind of pain from our parents. But now we love one another.
If you don't mind me asking.
No, you don't even have to say that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, what's the story with your parents? Like, what do you feel towards them?
I love them, but it's been a trip. I have an hour story that I tell at these places you can tell stories, like at Somerville Cable TV. There's a show called Dead Air Live. I don't think it's happening now. And I did an hour show, which is on YouTube. It's never too late to have a loving mother. So I had to really work hard to love my mother. I could tell you, it'll take about 3 minutes, but this will be a key story. Probably, yes? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to make it as brief as I can.
Yeah.
Well, when I was young, and my mother used to hit me all the time. I was an unhappy kid. She'd slap me, and if I cried, she'd slap me more. She said, "Boys don't cry. You make me feel like I'm a lousy mother. Stop crying."
Mm-hmm.
So that did not encourage me to get in touch with my feelings.
Yeah.
So I, like many men my generation, just stopped. And when I wanted to go to Israel to start a new life, my dad said, "If you paint the house inside and out, we'll give you $300, and I'll also give you a round-trip ticket." So I'm painting my mother as usual. "You missed the spot up at the top of the roof. Go back up on that light. You missed this. We're paying you for this. You've got to do a better job." I said, "You shut up. I'm doing the best I can." She said, "No, you're not." I took the paint thinner and I poured it over her head.
Wow.
I was so angry. And then went for a walk. So when I came back from Israel and came to Boston, I tell her, Boston's a university town, I'm going to need 4 years without us communicating. I need to recover, and there's just too much pain that happens when we get together. So I wait the 4 years. And then I call her up and said, "Ma, you can come to Cambridge." Moxie Strange Kennedy, who also teaches at the Cambridge Center where I do, was going away for the summer, so we rented her home for the summer. So I picked my mother up at Logan. I drive her to Moxie's home. We walk in. It was a beautiful home, 2 floors and a little backyard patio. My dear beloved mother, Evelyn, opens the refrigerator and says, "There's no food in the refrigerator. What kind of son are you? You invite me to come and there's no food? Is that a way to treat your mom?" And I say to her, "Mom, I think we should talk to each other more kindly now that we're starting a new relationship." And my beloved mother says, "You're Hitler! You're trying to control how I talk. What's wrong with you? You're Hitler!" I say, "Mom, I'm going to buy some food and leave it by the door, and I'm going to come back tomorrow morning, and I would like us to start a new way to be together and only talk kindly to each other." And I come back in the morning and I see my mother literally putting her tongue between her teeth and saying, "You're right, Michael, we should talk more kindly to each other." And since then, as my neighbor, we both live on top floor condo, who got to know my mother and I, said, "Your mom seems like the most devoted mother I've ever seen in my life. She was so, so grateful that someone in the family, unfortunately not my father, insisted that she be and speak more kindly."
And how old were you?
Then I was in my mid to late 30s. in the South.
Do you think? So it sounds like you were pretty sound, like at the time, like you valued a piece a little bit more than kind of just like chaos. So what do you think really brought you to? Because I know if I'm dealing with a lot of stuff that brings me pain like that, I probably wouldn't even try to
Mm-hmm.
like. I'm just gonna accept some people are the way that they are.
And not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was my mom, though.
Yeah.
So I didn't wanna-
So, what do you think helped bring you to like actually committing to those, like after 4 years, calling her up and
I really didn't like anybody. It was human beings were too hard.
yeah.
I have a stand-up comedy routine that is called "Relationships Are Hard, Especially with Other People." So since everybody was challenging for me, I did what my dad did. My dad was a fireman. I saw him in subways. He would stand up in his fireman uniform and give his seat to anybody elderly who needed it. So my dad was dedicated with all his challenges to be a good guy. My mother used to scream at him, "You're a good guy to everybody but people in the family, Charlie." But anyway, so I had this value, which I still do. Whatever happens, be a good guy. So, and that meant that since everybody was a challenge, I try to be a good guy with everybody. I mean, some were closer. People that were close, like brothers or women friend. I had a lot of other challenges.
Yeah.
But I used to think being a good guy was telling people why their spiritual beliefs weren't as good as mine.
Yeah.
Well, I realized because I'm brilliant after many years, but that's not the way to relate to people. They really somehow don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I learned not so long ago. It's still something I try to practice, kind of just like accepting, like, yeah, but everyone has to their own way to do it. It may not be the right way in your eyes, but like everyone's got their own opinions and other things, and that's just something you gotta accept. That's what also makes them, different and special from you. Cool. How long have you been in Cambridge?
I came back from Israel in 1974 and moved to Cambridge in 75.
Nice.
And I've been here ever since.
Ever since. Amazing. Okay. What was that like? How do you feel about Cambridge over the years?
I mean, I love Cambridge. I miss Manhattan. I'm born in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And lived in Jerusalem for over 2 years. So those were more exciting in certain ways.
Yeah.
I came to Cambridge because I thought it had Harvard and MIT, and I thought it would be the intellectual capital of the world.
Yeah.
I since discovered, much to my happiness, it's the amateur artistic. I can have a show, for example, on television for 25 years. I don't have to be particularly professional about it.
Yeah. Cambridge is really good with its art, I'd say. How do you feel about the certain changes, specifically when it comes to like some like buildings, like this building across the street wasn't there?
Yeah, I thought it would be a eyesore. It's a huge building for people who can't see it.
Yeah.
It must be about 20 stories.
Probably.
And Central Square was low.
Yeah.
And tough.
Yeah.
I've been trying to gentrify Central since I came here.
Yeah.
But there's still people asking for food or money. I thought it would matter. I don't. It seems to fit right in for me.
Yeah. You know, they can't really. I know eventually when I do go home buying, I'm probably not gonna get a house in Cambridge, but Cambridge is still like a special. Like, you know, I grew up here, so
And your mother has a home here,
yeah. So
and I have 2 condos, which I bought very inexpensively,
awesome.
thanks to loans and gifts from my parents. I couldn't have even afforded that,
Yeah.
and now they're worth a lot.
That's
As
amazing.
your mother's home, I'm sure, is worth a lot.
Oh, probably. I will not tell people on this show.
Okay.
But, yeah. Jerusalem. Tell me about that. How was that?
It was tough. I mean, everybody's in the military. Most everyone except the religious people are in the military, so they're much tougher. For example, instead of saying "How are you," in Hebrew it's "Maslom." It's tough.
Yeah, it's very tough. Yeah.
I once took a taxi cab, and I was trying to be a nice, good boy when I came there.
Yeah.
I took a taxi cab drive from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and the driver says £5. I said, "What do you mean? I took this for £3 yesterday." He says £5. I say, "No way." He says, "You American capitalistic pig. It's £5. What's wrong with you?" He starts screaming at me. I scream back. I've learned.
Yeah.
I scream right back. We yell, and he calls me capitalist pig. I say, "You're just taking advantage of immigrants.
Yeah.
You're greedy yourself."
Yeah.
And we finally, after yelling at each other, agree on £4.
Okay.
And then he says, "Where are you from?" I say, "I was born in Brooklyn." "Oh, I have a cousin in Brooklyn." "Oh, we're in Brooklyn." "Oh, yes. Wow, we should talk about it sometime. Maybe we can get together. It's so nice for you having you driving my car." So I learned that was a way of communicating in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hold things back. If there's a bus and 3 people waiting to get on an empty bus, they elbow each other.
Just like no man, like
Men or women.
wow.
So it got rid of my Mr. Nice Guy, like my dad,
Yeah.
good guy. And there's that mantra in Israel, serve God with the evil impulse.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't just try to be nice. You get in touch with all that juicy stuff, your anger, your greed, your sloth,
Yeah.
your gluttony, whatever it is. But you use it well.
Mm-hmm.
Like instead of eating by myself a lot of food, I'll have a party.
Oh.
So that's the way to, with lust, for example, I'll be with a partner I love. We'll say, "Okay, let's just do what we feel like doing."
Yeah.
So that was very freeing to know to serve God with the evil impulse.
Were you a big party guy?
No,
No.
no. But I mean, in Israel, no, I'm just going to say no.
Okay. Let's see.
But I do like going to small gatherings and just
Yeah.
eating. Oh, to
Yeah, that's
fall.
the best. Yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Just getting a seat by the table, and finding a food I like. It could be a cake,
Yeah.
or it could be whatever, and talking to people and eating. I love doing that. I'm not
Yeah.
sure I'm often invited back, but I love doing that.
No, I agree though. I'm normally, if I ever go to like a family gathering, I'm kind of mostly there for the food.
Yep.
Yeah. But okay, cool. Wow, yeah, I already feel like I'm learning like a crap ton about you. I never even thought I'd know about. Um,
Say that again?
I was saying that I feel like I'm already learning more about you that I just never even like thought of like you living in Jerusalem and
Mm-hmm. We can do it because we didn't do a show about you, though, did we? We did a show about your trip, mostly.
it was about my trip and then it kind of went
It
a
moved
little
into
bit
you, yes.
into me just a tad. Yeah.
Maybe another year we'll see what's happened to the new Heinz.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe I lose my mind. I shave my hair and I friggin' like shave my eyebrows. Who knows?
Doesn't sound like you. Did.
Probably not.
I know. I might lose my mind.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Kids. Did you ever want any kids?
Yes, when I got married, we had a covenant to try to have a child.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife says we had a miscarriage. I don't remember that. But after 2 years, we were old. We were 47, and she said, I don't want to try anymore. And I said, we promised to try.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it doesn't happen. She said, no. I said, I'm leaving. I'm not defending this. I'm just
Yeah.
reporting. And after that, I met a woman who I'm still friends with now, pretty close friends.
Awesome.
But in 3 months, we had that pregnancy test,
Mm-hmm.
and it came out positive. And I wanted to put it, we just knew each other and we were fighting often, even to begin.
Yeah.
I was still tried to be a good boy like my daddy and said, will you marry me?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I can't answer now. She went away with her family for a week, came back, didn't answer, and I said, and I didn't really want to.
Yeah.
So I said, let's put the child up for adoption. She said, no way. We went to an abortion center in Brookline.
Mm-hmm.
She changed her mind. She had already had 2. I said, okay. And then we went back again, and there were those people that were standing next to it saying, you guys are murdering children. And she did have an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
So here I was thinking I wanted a child, but not. I would have been happy to put it up for adoption.
Yeah.
I think, I shouldn't say this on television, but I will, if someone's thinking of not having an abortion and would rather put the child up for adoption, if I can help, let me know.
You're ready for adopting?
Not me,
Oh.
but put it up for someone else.
Yeah.
I will make amends
Mm-hmm.
for that abortion.
Okay. Awesome. Because we're gonna go even further back. I'm just choosing pieces.
Well, we've only had a half hour of this. Help!
Okay.
Banned from CCTV.
How was high school for you?
It was a waste, the whole thing. The
Waste?
one, just so silly. I was so hurting. I was what one of my students called a hurting human. Mm-hmm. And we read Thomas Hardy or, great writers, but not about, there was like a conspiracy We will not talk about the children's lives and what they really need and how they're feeling. We will learn these intellectual books, American history. Of course, they didn't say a word about racism, or sexism, or gayism. So, but the one thing that was worth it for 4 years, I had an English teacher, Mrs. Harkness, and I don't think she'd be allowed to do this today, but she took us on a weekend to a Quaker retreat in Pendle Hill, Pennsylvania. And we sat in silence, the whole class, with some of the Quakers there. It was kind of a farm, so they looked real manly. And we're supposed to sit in silence. We're told we all have an inner light and we have something of God inside. And it was cool, for high school. I didn't think much of it, but it was very nice.
Yeah.
I was like, I had a happy weekend.
Awesome.
With other people in the class. And I didn't think anything about it after that until I went 4 years later to the University of Chicago and was very lonely. I was so lonely I didn't even understand why. I would writhe on the floor saying, what's going on? Because I had left the comfort of my difficult home.
Yeah.
However, I heard there was a meeting right near campus, a Quaker meeting. And I thought I could, meet some people because I had that lovely experience. And I began going there and listening to, they said that there's some godly part of you that's more than your ordinary personality. And certainly for me, who was so scared and rigid, to, had to get along, and had a certain kind of painful personality. And I hear this other voice inside, and I said, I might be more than I think I am. I might be more. I was telling this to my first date there. We're walking and she invites me up and we sit like we're sitting now.
Yeah.
There's a bookcase right in front of us. It's a small apartment. And I hear my inner voice say, hold her hand. So I hold it and I say, I have an inner voice that told me to hold your hand. And she smiles. She says, that's a nice inner voice. I like it.
You kind of got game, huh?
What?
Kind of got game.
Yeah, I guess so. So it was so freeing to begin to discover I might not be a lonely boy just talking to myself.
Yeah. I
met a man studying to be a priest. He said it could be God is talking to you, which sounds a little too big for this lonely kid, but it felt great. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so now, instead of being unsure about most everything, what to eat, what to read, what to study, I could, my inner voice said, eat the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. So it has its own drawbacks. I eventually learned that, I could have lots of voices inside.
Yeah.
We could have a party inside. But it was extremely comforting, confidence building, community. I would go to a Quaker meeting and I would talk from my inner voice and people would say, very special.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that other people thought other things, but that little weekend trip to Pendle Hill, the Quaker Retreat Center, changed my life way for the better.
Awesome. You are really good at remembering things, and I feel like that's something I struggle with. Like, I can't even remember certain things I did, like, last year, which I feel horrible about. What's your earliest memory?
I forget lots of things too, by the way. Like if my vitamin pills on the table, did I take them or not? I have to turn the bottle over when I take them. So I'm just telling you the vivid things.
Yeah.
My first memory. I'm 3 years old. I walk into the kitchen, and my mother is hitting the ceiling with a broom. Pow!
Yeah.
Bang! Bang! And I say, Ma, why are you hitting the ceiling with a broom? And she said, the people upstairs made a lot of noise at a party like last night, and they kept me up, so I'm getting them up in the morning. Pow! Pow! And I thought for a while, this is a real tough mom, when I think about it. And then when the women's movement, I said, right on, lady.
Yeah.
But now I realize that pow pow was also directed at me. So it wasn't just right on.
What makes you say that?
My mother used to hit me all the time.
Yeah.
Scream at me, I'm going to kill you, I hope you have children just like you, and whacking. She only stopped when I was in my teens, and I never wanted to hit her back. I guess the violence I felt was so scary, I just didn't feel it. I just let it happen. And when my bones got too hard as a teenager, when I hurt her hands, then she stopped.
Interesting. Okay. Back to kids. Do your siblings have kids?
My brother has 3 children. My other brother doesn't have any. He doesn't want any.
Mm-hmm. How close are you with your nephews and nieces? Nephews.
I love them. One of them that I'm not close to. But the first 2, I call every birthday. And there is a connection between us.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
I mean, one of them, I think they're both extremely critical of and skeptical of this whole COVID thing. They're both non-vaxxers. So that might have got a little in the way, but I can still talk to Josh anyway. I don't try to convince him or...
Mm-hmm. Nice. So, non-vaxxers, you guys probably don't do family gatherings too often.
No. Rebecca almost came to visit my brother, but I think my brother got scared because she was going to be flying without a mask. So I think she might come this summer.
Nice.
She has an 11-year-old boy.
Oh, wow. So, how does that feel watching your family, expand, into, newer generations?
I love it. I mean, I'm not that close. My nephew loves riddles.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll call him up. I'll tell you his favorite riddle, which is mine.
Yeah.
I think he at least loves it. So I'll have to interview you for the riddle.
Okay.
You remember one of your early grade school teachers?
Yes.
What was her name or his name?
Dang, now I gotta come up with the name. Let's see. See, now that I'm on the spot, I can't even like. Crap, these are like easy names too. Miss. I think I had a Miss Moore.
Miss Moore?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with it. We'll go with Miss Moore.
Yeah.
We'll say Miss Moore was your first grade teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew, which is obvious looking at you, as everyone could see, what a bright light you were.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Heinz, I'm going to ask you a 5th grade question. And because I want you to encourage the rest of the class to come up to your level. Heinz, how do you spell crocodile? And young Heinz gets up, looks at Mrs. Moore and says, K-R-O-K. And she stops him, says, with love in her eyes, because who could not love young Heinz?
Mm-hmm.
Heinz, I'm really sorry, but you're wrong. And you get up on your first grade tiptoes. You look Mrs. Moore in the eyes. You say, I'm sorry, Mrs. Moore. I'm right. And the riddle is, why was young Heinz correct?
Wait a second. She asked me to spell crocodile?
Not quite. I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
She said, Heinz, how do you spell crocodile?
Ah, how do you spell
Aha!
crocodile?
Yes. So you were right. That's
Yeah.
how you spell. And you've been doing that ever since. Doing it your way.
Mm.
So that's the secret of your success.
That's an amazing riddle.
Yeah.
I like
And so
that.
my nephew, we call him my nephew, he's really my great nephew,
Mm.
loves that story and even says it. He wanted to learn to do it himself, and so he practiced saying it to me.
That's awesome. That's beautiful.
Uncle Michael, he said, you're in the first grade. So the teacher says, Uncle Michael.
Yeah.
So that was lovely. Uncle Michael, how do you spell crocodile? So that was, that's Nathaniel.
Nathaniel. Oh. Nice. We still got 17 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel
Well,
like
14 actually. We only have to.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I feel like I've tackled a lot, but if there's anything that is on your mind that you also want to just, you know what? No, I haven't asked the little questions actually.
Yes, go Heinz.
What is your favorite food?
This week I discovered I took a salad to friends. We have a book group together, Finnegan's Wake.
Yeah.
And now James Joyce's Ulysses. And I usually don't make salad dressing for myself.
Mm.
My beloved wife Robbie taught me how to make the salad dressing. 1 part vinegar, 1 part oil, just salt, pepper, Dijon mustard, and garlic, all blended together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was delicious in the salad.
Yeah.
So I've just now started using the salad dressing on salad and love it.
And so salad is that's your absolute favorite, like with the salad dressing.
I love salad. In the morning, I'm a very fussy eater.
Mm.
In the morning, I make my own soy milk
Mm-hmm.
with a banana, ginger, turmeric, almonds.
Very crafty.
Yes, blend them together.
Awesome. Wow. Okay. So you eat pretty healthy.
Yes, I probably could do more vegetables.
I'm not a big vegetable. I mean, no, I eat vegetables, but like, say if I go to like an Asian restaurant, I'm like the type to eat everything else except for like the vegetables.
Oh, my.
That they give me. Yeah, that's the only time where I'll turn into like a little kid about vegetables.
Oh.
Where if I'm at like an Asian eatery or anywhere else where like the vegetables are like seasoned. But yeah. What's your favorite color?
Maybe blue. Like you can see it.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah. I wear this off. Awesome. What did you want to become growing up?
I was always a teacher.
Yeah.
I thought I wanted to have a PhD and teach in universities and get tenure, which would have been a disaster. Instead, I became a poor adult education teacher, which I've loved. So my dream would have done me in,
Yeah.
but I was in the same neighborhood.
Same neighborhood, just
Poor
happier.
teacher, poor teacher of adults. I don't do well with when I taught in college and there were only college kids there, they thought I was crazy. But if there was a few adults in the room who got it, then everybody, all the kids would say, gee,
Yeah.
they're listening to what this strange man is saying, we might as well too.
Okay, okay. You got any favorite superheroes?
I used to love one of the gifts of my youth. My poor grandparents owned a candy store in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
So penny candies, you know. They lived behind it. They were not, that's where my father grew up. However, they had a comic book section. So whenever we visited Grandma, I would just take one comic after another, read it and return it, and loved Superman, Captain Marvel, Batman,
Yeah, those are the
Superboy.
go-tos. Superboy had it?
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
Superman, not quite as famous, but there was.
Yeah. Awesome. Who did you lean more towards at the time?
I think I liked all of them. Not as much Wonder Woman, so probably Superman and Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Yeah, I know Captain Marvel at some point was more popular than Superman
Wow.
at the time. Yeah.
Shazam! I wonder what the difference. I should read them both now. What the difference between them?
It's probably a lot more crazier now. Just the crazy stuff that happens in comic books. Shazam has 2 movies now as well.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, one's in theaters right now.
I wonder what the difference is between, because Captain Marvel, I think, also had a Clark Kent personality.
Yeah.
I think.
He was a young boy.
Oh.
Whenever he said Shazam, he turned into
A big man. Wow.
big man. Yeah.
And I wonder how he had his same superpowers as Superman, or
Pretty much, but he also had the power of like lightning.
of
That's what-
lightning.
Yeah, lightning. So he could just like lightning blast somebody.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he have a vulnerability like kryptonite for Superman?
His only vulnerability was if you could trick him into saying Shazam so that he turns into
The boy again? Wow.
Yeah.
So it is a little different.
Yeah. But, yeah, still pretty good. The comics now are crazy though. I don't know. We could get into that like some other time.
I'd love to.
Yeah. Let's see. What's your favorite movie?
I think I love the Wizard of Oz the best of all.
The Wizard of Oz. Which one?
The first one.
first one. That's my mom's. Yeah, that's my mom's favorite. She loves that movie a lot. Hmm. We still got enough time, so I can ask this question. What brought you to CCTV?
It was then in Kendall Square, before you were born.
What year?
You were 20, it was over 20 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
Susan was still in charge. And you had to pass an exam to become a producer.
Wow.
So I took the course and somehow just barely passed because I'm not good at it. And then a few years later, I had a friend and we wanted to do shows together. And so I applied and started. And he came on the show with my mother. So it was... he used to have a show on CCTV with a blank chair and on a big poster, "Will you marry me?"
And that was that what it was called, or?
No, he just did.
That was just
this talk show.
Okay.
But we had fun.
Yeah. Was your show? What was your show called? Was it still Aha?
I think it might have always been Aha.
Oh wow.
Although talking about memory, I'm not sure, but for a long time.
So you got a huge amount of episodes.
Oh my!
Of this.
That must be 100. The one with the most views, with my friend Wyoma, a dancer. Shamanic dancing has over 20,000 hits.
Wow. On YouTube?
On YouTube.
I should look that up.
You can.
Okay. Awesome. And honestly, I think I want to look at what, like, if we can find them, like some of your older shows. I think that'd be pretty fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
Put them up.
Yeah, why not?
Love it.
Cool. I know my favorite food is pizza. How do you feel about pizza?
I used to love Bertucci's pizza with Pepsi, and their rolls were so good.
Yeah.
Now they switched to Coke, and I was very unhappy.
So you're a Pepsi guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big difference for me. And I still love the rolls. I got even way more into a health food.
Yeah.
So I would eat whole wheat pizza if they made it. But probably not. I mean, if I'm eating out with friends, then
yeah. Yeah. This is. Well, I think I know that person outside. But, yeah.
Well, this has been a great interview. We only have 3 more minutes.
I wanted to get all fancy and then, like, every time you spoke, get closer.
Hi
but,
there.
like, I got real, like just into just the conversation. Yeah, I feel like I know a lot about just, like, your life in general. I feel like there's still, like, bits and pieces.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I feel like there's still bits and pieces.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
I mean, I'm 82.
Yeah. Sounds like you have a lot that you've learned. Yeah, I don't know. Just hearing a lot of your experiences has just been, like, beautiful, just overall.
Oh, I'm touched. Very touched. Oh.
Especially, like, you and your story with your mother, and yeah, that's just really, like, inspiring. I do hold the mindset of just, like, obviously I'm not gonna, like, even if, like, my mom's not terrible in the slightest, but, you know, if she was being any type of way, I wouldn't just cut her off, but I would put myself in the mindset where it's just like, that's just how she is. I'm gonna spend most of my time leaving her alone. But that story, you know, like I said, it was beautiful, and just like hearing you kind of fight for that relationship is amazing. So yeah.
Makes me cry. Thank you.
No problem.
Hi, Evelyn Koran.
Yeah. That was our interview. I had fun. I hope you did.
Yes, I loved it.
Yeah.
Way more than I imagined.
I guess I got time for one more question.
Sure, we have a minute.
You play any video games?
Never.
Never?
Never.
So, I'm gonna bring a video game, and you're gonna play it.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause video games are super fun.
Yes. No.
That's interesting. So never, ever?
Never, never. I'm a reader.
Reader, fair. Video games can be very cinematic though, and like have some really good like.
Well, with the experience, I'm sure I would love.
Yeah. Okay. Eventually, one of these days, I'm gonna get Michael to play a video game. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you for a lovely.
Thank you.
Boy, what a talent you have.
Thank you.
Softly spoken sales. Soft sell, actually. That's what they call.
I don't think I ever heard of that.
Yes,